Good morning, everyone. Last class we have discussed about the CSS and how you can use the CSS in HTML. What is its benefit? Font properties. What is the properties value? That is a declaration. We have already learned. Now we are going to see about the selector. This is very important when you are going to make a HTML5 based application or Bootstrap application. Selector plays a very important role in any web application development because it's define the exact margins, the colors, or whatever you want as per your design, that it will be defined in this. Let's go through this and learn about the selector. As I mentioned, with the selectors, when you use this one, definitely things that make your life easier. That means when you are going to make a web development, it's make an easier way to create the pages. When you are defining the CSS rule, we need to use the selector. Why actually we need the selector? Because the moment you use the selector in the CSS, it will tell to the browser, that means which elements are going to affect. That means because I have specified the selector for the particular element, that means element is your paragraph, heading tag, division tag, your anchor tag, your break tag, whatever you are going to use, that is all our elements. So that all elements will going to be affect as per the selector, what you are going to specify in the CSS rule. CSS selector allow you to select an individual elements. You can have multiple HTML elements also. You can have the elements that belongs to together in some way, or the elements that are positioned in a specific ways in the document hierarchy. It means that either you are defining for particular paragraph. Okay, so example, there is a student in the class. If I call the person A, definitely only A will come, right? So that is the individual elements. That is only if I define for a particular paragraph, because when you use the paragraph, that contains all the paragraph in the HTML, but we will define ID here. Okay, so it will be defined only for the particular. If you want, wherever you use in the, so as I mentioned, right, in the class, if I call the students, then it's all a student, you have to come here. That means it applies on multiple people. So same way you are going to apply in multiple HTML elements. That means you are having a paragraph in the many places in your HTML page, that means it will apply. Then elements that belongs to together, that means you have the hierarchy inside the paragraph, you have the span, or in division tag you have the paragraph tag. So that hierarchy, if you are using the tag, the CSS tag, that will be applied on that. And there are different ways for like selector you are going to define. So what are the number of different selector types we have? Let's see that. The first one, we have elements selector. What is the element selector? It will select all the instance of given HTML element. Example, I have used here a file cs1.html. Whatever the instance you have in HTML element, that all we are going to use. So using the HTML element name, you can also select all the element by using universal element selector. There you have something called as first one, that is element selector. So first one, that means the moment if you use with the asterisk symbol, okay, if you use the asterisk character in the CSS, that means it will define this particular selector for entire document. Okay, so whatever you can select all the element by using universal element selector. We have seen already the example, like we will be using selector, we will be using declaration, that means properties and value pairs. That is this is the complete is called as a rule. This is the CSS rule. The same way, this is also another CSS rule, and another, this is also another CSS rules. Already we have seen the same example. Again, we are repeating, so you will understand this one. Okay, that it means that all the document, if you have entire things, you can use this way only. Next, group selector. That means you are going to select multiple things. That means you have various element and that you are going to group. Okay, so that will be group selector. You can see here example. I'm using, as I said, right, group multiple things. That means multiple elements. Like you have paragraph, we have division tag, we have aside tag. I'm going to group all this tag together. Then how you have to do? Just write paragraph, comma, division, comma, and whatever the tag further you want, aside, you want a strong, I'm going to define the margin 0 and padding 0. Okay. The same thing you can define this way also, but this will be a single line. The above single group together is equivalent to following. So this here I have grouped everything, but here we are just separating each tag, right? Paragraph, margin 0, padding 0. Again, and you have to give open brace, you have to give closing brace in the CSS. Same way in division tag, I am defining the same way. Same way I am defining the aside tag. So this is the sample of your group together, or you can separately you are defining, or you can actually, this is the grouping. This is the group selector. You can select a group of element by separating the different element name with the comma, which we have mentioned, that is called as group selector. This is a sensible way to reduce the size and complexity of your CSS rule. Why? Because same thing. See here, how many lines we have used? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 line we are using here. The same code we are writing in 1, 2, 3, 4 line. So obviously, this will reduce the complexity and it will reduce the size of your CSS also. So that is the thing we have to see into the CSS. That means how much you can reduce in HTML page also, how much you are going to reduce. That is very important. Now suppose you want to reset something you have defined and you want to reset. You can see here example. I'm using, this is the group selector. Again, HTML, body tag, division, span, H1 to H6 and paragraph. For all margin, that means margin will define here. So there is one margin will be there from this and from padding from this side. So this is the padding. So you are how much margin you are moving there. So 0, padding 0, border you are going to give 0, font size I'm going to define 100%, and font family, that means vertical alignment will be a baseline. Okay, that means the baseline you are going to align. When group selector are often used, okay, so to quickly reset or remove browser default, okay. So it will be reset. That means by default, what you are seeing, it will be defined. Okay, in the group selector, even if not defined, by default, it will be available. The goal of doing is to reduce the browser inconsistencies with things such as margin, line, height, and fonts. So by default, whatever you are defining, by default, everywhere, that means it is 0 only. The moment you define, then only it is going to be assign anything. So you have to see there. So the moment you use like this way, it will quickly reset, because what is mean that in another way, I'll tell you, every browser is having some That is automatically it will take. Have you defined your font family or font size should be like this way when you write the HTML? No, we are not defining. But the moment you open, automatically we get the result, right? What does it mean that? That means browsers support the default font size, margin, padding, and all the vertical alignment and everything. That means it will reset by the browser by default. Okay, so that is actually like this way it is there. So this is the thing, that is the goal. By default, it will be there. And these reset styles can be placed in your own CSS file. That means you can create a separate reset.css file and you will link this using the external style sheet. So whatever, because every browser having its own style to represent the text. You just write the HTML code, run on the different browser, you will see there will be that some difference will be there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset. I want to reset the default browser capability. So how you can do? Just you define this code and create in external CSS file, and then you can use it. And it should be called the page before any external style sheet. So we'll see that how we can define the external style sheet. Next, you have something called as class selector. So we have seen element selector, group selector. Now we have class selector. So this, what will be there? That means when you are going to define the class selector, it will select the element with the specific attribute. Okay, you are going to define with the specific attribute. Okay, to select the element with a specific class, we have to use dot symbol, that is a period symbol. As we have seen in universal, that is you are going to use with the strict star symbol. The same way, when you are going to define the class selector, then you are going to use dot symbol. Okay, and then follow with the name of the class. The class selector will allow you to simultaneously target different HTML elements regarding their solution in the documentary. That means however you are going to define, it will target the particular HTML element because we are defining the class for the particular element, and that will help you to differentiate between the HTML element. If a series of HTML element have been labeled, that means the same class attribute value if you have, then you can target them by using class selector. That means you have to give the dot symbol and followed with the class name. See the example of the class selector here. We have seen the example of group selector. We have seen the example of addition selector. Now that is element selector. Now you have the class selector. You can see here, same way I'm just defining. Whenever you want to use the style sheet, this is called as internally we are defining. Okay, so you have to write within the head tag, you have to write a style. Okay, then as I mentioned, you have to use the dot. Okay, when you are going to define the class selector, so I'll use dot and then I will give any class name I'll define. So this can be anything, you can define anything. There is no predefined things are there, so you can use first. Okay, then you have the font style, that is the whatever you want to define the style of the particular, you can define. Close the style sheet. Okay, that means a style, whatever the style sheet CSS you are going to define, close it, close the head, come to the body section and define h1. I'm defining heading 1 tag, and I'm defining when you want to now, like how in general programming you are going to call something, the same way here we have the calling function. So when you want to call this, then you have to use class is equal to what is the selector name you have defined. So I will be giving the selector name as a first and review. Similar way, I have defined another division tag. Okay, and I have used again paragraph class first, something like this. Just you define and finish it. And you can see the result, the particular text review. It will be in italic style and the color will be brown because we have defined the CSS for this. And you can see this is the example. So review, it is coming like this. Second line also we have done the same way. The fourth line also we have done the same way. And this is the result you will get. This is the class selector. You can also specify that only a specific HTML element should be affected by a class. That means I am defining only the particular elements. When you define, that only is going to affect. So in this, the below example, what I am going to define, you can see here, I am using a paragraph. Okay. And in the paragraph inside, that means in paragraph hierarchy, you have center tag. That means whatever the text you are going to define, you want to define in the center. Then you have to write in CSS P for paragraph dot center. That means wherever you are going to call the class selector as a center, but it should have the paragraph element, that is the parent. Then there it is going to apply this select, that is the CSS style, like text alignment center. Okay, so you can define this way the for particular HTML, a specific HTML element should be get affected. That means inside the paragraph, what you are defining, that will be with the center tag. The HTML element can also prepare to more than one class. You can refer to more than one class also. We can see the example here. When you want to use like this way, the same way how we are defining class is equal to center. So you can move to the class is equal to large. You can see here, I'm using paragraph, class selector, then center and large. So this paragraph will refer to two different class it will take. So I have defined two different class, it will take from two different class. That also we can do using the class selector. Next, we have something called ID selector. What is the ID selector? Now you are going to target a specific element by using ID attribute. The ID selector will allow you to target a specific element by ID attribute regardless of its type or position. I'm not going to see that which hierarchy it is there, what type it is defined. I'm just going to use the ID. We will define with the particular ID, and wherever you are going to define, you can target for the particular specific element. If any HTML element has been labeled with the ID attribute, that means if you are defining anywhere with the ID, okay, then you can target it for the styling using the ID selector, and it will be defined using the hash symbol. That means period, that means dot using dot. Now ID will be with the, that means class selector will be with dot, ID selector will be with hash. Simple thing, meaning is there. When you are going to define ID attribute, that means you are going to use hash symbol followed with the ID name. ID name can be anything, whatever you want, you can define it. But you should see that it's not match the same ID name twice in your CSS. Different ID name for different ID attribute should be there. Okay, so you should only using ID once per page, because one ID will be there for particular a specific HTML element. If you want to use another ID, yes, you can define, but different again, you have to define the ID name. You can see the example here. The previous example, we have used dot first. Now you can see that I'm using hash latest comment. Okay, I'm using here. So the moment you use this one, that means you can understand by this, it is the ID selector. And same thing I'm style I'm defining. Same way, you can see here division. I'm defining here ID is equal to latest comment. That means I have defined ID. So it will be, previously you have seen I've used here class is equal to, now I'm using ID is equal to, and the same remaining here. So only for this it is going to be changed. So only this portion, the complete this division tag, it is going to be changed. Previously we have target only the particular specific element. Here we are targeting the particular division tag, the complete division tag, and it will font style will be italic and color will be brown. If you see the previous result, you can see here, and wherever you are targeting, you can see here I have to define every paragraph, every heading tag, then only it is going to change. But here in the ID selector, if you use directly into division, then it will be defined. This is the ID selector. Okay, now how you can decide I have to use ID or I have to use the class selector? That is very important here. The decision, you should know that where I have to use the ID and where I have to use the class, because both are almost same, you are seeing that, right? So the confusion will be always arises. Then what you have to do, just let's see that. The ID selector should only be used when referencing a single HTML element. That means whenever you are going to use single element, that means I am going to use on the complete division tag. So when you are going to use on that basis, then you are going to use only ID selector. Since ID's attribute can only be assigned to a single HTML element. Like you cannot define like inside the division you have paragraph, inside you will define. No. If you have paragraph, inside that when you have a strong, you have another span, it will apply only on the paragraph. The same way in the division tag, as per previous sample that you can see that, and we have defined with the simple tag, but we had the paragraph or heading tag, but it will apply on only on the div tag. That means the main where I'm going to apply on the single HTML element. When you want to use the class selector, so class selector should be used when you are going to reference several related elements. When you have several related elements, then you are going to use the class selector. This is the very important, you should remember, and then accordingly you should implement when you are designing the HTML pages. Next, you have something called as attribute selector. What is the attribute selector? That means you are going to select via the presence of element attribute or by the value of attribute. Okay, how that is this? The attribute selector is used to select element with the specific attribute. And this attribute selector will provide a way to select HTML element, either the presence of an element attribute or the value of an attribute. So either attribute will be available, that means HTML element attribute, or either the value attribute is there. We'll see the example, then you will understand more. And this can be very powerful technique, but because of uneven support by the some of the browser, not all web authors have used them. That means this attribute selector might it support some browser, might it not support, because that browser is supporting or not, that we have to check it out. Attribute selector can be very helpful technique in styling hyperlinks and image. You have seen that when you use the hyperlink tag, automatically it will become some blue color, right? But I want to define that color should be changed. In that moment, actually your attribute selector will be helpful. You have some image, you want to give some styling for the image, then you are going to use attribute selector. See the example here. I've used the same way. I'm using the attribute selector whenever you are going to, as per the previous, whenever you are going to define the attribute selector, that means you have to define inside the bigger bracket. Okay, tag, the syntax will be in the bigger bracket. I am defining title. So this means it is the attribute selector. And whatever the CSS rule you want to define, you can define. I am defining the cursor will come as a help. Padding is there. Okay, bottom 3 pixel, borders bottom 2 pixel size with the dotted line and with blue color, and text decoration will be none. Now go through this, and wherever you want to define, you can define this. So I'm defining, just giving image source. Okay, so I'm in the image, I'm defining the title tag. That means the moment you mouse over, the cursor will go on the particular, that it will show the flag of the particular. That means you should have some image. You have another, so this is actually PHP we have used. Just give the heading tag something. Next, use another image for another country, or you can use top of some sulfur mountain, some photographs, whatever you want, use the photograph, and you give the accordingly the title name. So this title, whatever you give, it will define accordingly. It will take automatically from this. Okay, that means it is the attribute selector, and this will be helpful for the image or your hyperlink. You can see the example here. Okay, the title, the moment the mouse over is there, you can see that it's coming in the different. Okay, like this way we can define. Okay, let's just go through once again. The first one, as I said, right, for the specific attribute, when you are going to define for particular specific attribute, then you are going to use the attribute selector. You can see that bigger bracket is equal to the specific attribute with some specific value. That means you will define that means hyperlink. Title is equal to post from this country, and you write. So whenever hyperlink will be there, on that it is going to be defined. If you use tilde symbol, that means the specific attribute which matches at least one word in the space delimited. That means countries. Where the countries will be there, that will be attribute will be called. The same way you have you can use upper bracket. Okay, that means arrow mark is equal to, this will begin with the specified value. You can see here mail to, that means wherever you are going to, it will match with the anchor element. It will hyperlink to the mail to. Same way as star dot, that means for source, wherever the source, that will matches. Then dollar symbol, wherever you are defined, like I'm defining .pdf, wherever this hyperlink will going to match, this attribute will be end with the text .pdf format. These are the attribute selector, the different types of attribute selector we have. This all, once you do the practice, you will get to know that. Next, you have about pseudo selector. Okay, the pseudo, what is the pseudo selector? That means you are going to select something, but which is not exist explicitly as an element. Hope you remember you had the pseudo class. Okay, the same way here you have pseudo selectors. Okay, and this pseudo class is used to define a specific state of elements. For example, you are going to style element when user mouse over it. Obviously, there is no CSS, right? But this is the something by default it is not visible, right? But when mouse goes over on that, it gets changes. So in that place, your pseudo selector will be involved. A style visited and unvisited links will be differently. Might be you have seen when you click on the hyperlink, right? The moment you click and you come back onto the same screen, or you search in Google also. Google search, just go there, search something, click on the first link, you come back. When you come back to the Google search page, you will see there is the highlighting will be there. Yes, that means you have clicked or not clicked. That is the different will be there. So that is with help of pseudo selector only. When you want to focus to the some HTML element, that also can be used. So the pseudo element selector is a way to select something that does not exist explicitly in the HTML documentary, but it is recognizable to select the particular object. As I said, right? The image is there, that link is there. The moment you click, that link color will get changed. That is not exist, but the moment you click, it's getting changed. So that effect that will be happen with the pseudo selector. Pseudo selector, class selector does not apply to an HTML element, but it will target either the particular state or especially in the okay. So you can use in CSS3 and the variety of family relationship in the HTML element that you can apply on that. The most common use of this type of selector for targeting link state, that means hyperlinking. The example for the pseudo selector, you can see here, I'm using a style sheet. Okay, I'm using a link, that means anchor tag link. The moment it will click, that means link will be there, it will be underlined and blue color. The moment you clicked and come back to the page, that means it will be visited. So that same underline will be there, but color should get changed to purple. When you click mouse over, that means when you are going to keep mouse on the top, that means it will be the decoration will be none and font will be bold. When active, that particular link, then background color will be yellow. And how you are going to use this one? That means these things are not exist actually, right? Visited, however, but we are going to create the pseudo selector. So pseudo selector, you have to give with the colon and whatever the link visited, however, active. How you are going to use? We have to use especially when you are creating a menu tag, right? You can see here, or you can use here anchor tag. So li anchor tag I have defined here. So the moment if you use, you will see the result, and it will be the difference will be there between the mouse over, visited, and normal link. And these are the selector type you have for the pseudo class selector. These are like a colon link. Just now we said that pseudo class, that means the link has not visited. A colon visited, that means it has been visited. A colon focus, that means you are going to focus on the particular element, that means input focus will be there. However, that means your mouse over effect, this is the active element or not by the user. Next, for the checked, first child, first letter, first line, you can define as per your need in the HTML page. And this pseudo element is used, as I said, that is will be used for a specific part of element. As I said, styling the first letter or line or the element. You can insert the content before, after, and content into the element. So when you are going to use, this is the pseudo element selector. So element selector will be like selector. You have to use double colon here. You can see here, and then pseudo element, and whatever the properties and value pair you want to define, you can define. Previous one pseudo class selector. This is pseudo element selector, and the few selectors in pseudo element are like double colon, after, before, first letter, first line, first colon selection. That means remember that I want only first line to be capital. Okay, first letter should be some styling, some color, some effect should be there. Then you are going to use this tag colon, after or before. However you want, you can insert accordingly. So paragraph tag after. That means any content after every paragraph element, it can be defined accordingly. This is your pseudo element selector. Next, you have something contextual selector. What is the contextual selector? Especially it is in CSS3, and also it is called as combinators. And this will be allow you to select the element based on their ancestor or descendant or sibling. Okay, this can be defined on that. This is your context selector. and this will select the element based on the context or their relation with the other element in the document tree. You can see the what are the selector we have, that is, as I said, dissident, child, adjust, adjacent sibling, general sibling. So you can use like division P. Okay, that means it will select the paragraph element and within the division tag it should be there. Next, you can see that I'm using division tag and next H2 element. So this is the child element of a division tag. Next, H3 plus P, that means select the first paragraph after H3. So wherever H3 is there, after the whichever the first paragraph, that will be selected. H3 tiled paragraph, that means it will select all the paragraph element that will share, so sorry, that will be the same parent as the H3 will have. Like this way you can use the context selector. Okay, so one more is there, dissident selector. So dissident selector, that means it will match all the element that are contained within the other element, the character used to indicate the dissident selection in the space character. The example you can see here, I'm using, as I said, right, division, space, paragraph, and next your CSS style. The moment you use this one, this will be the syntax for the dissident selector, and mostly in the HTML5, especially this is there. So inside the division tag, you have a paragraph tag. So whatever the paragraph is defined inside the division tag, all the rule of CSS will apply that. That's why it is called a dissident. Another example you can see that I'm using hashman division P colon first child. So what it means that the inside the main, okay, that means your body, that main part where main you are going to divide, that is the class selector, okay, and the moment you define the division, after that the first P, wherever is there, select the first paragraph element within the division tag, that rule will be applied on this. So first child, then it will check with the first paragraph, then inside the division and main. So this is your dissident selector. You can see the example here. Same way I have used here anchor tag, okay. So I'm using UL, that means the CSS will be there for UL, and that means unordered list, anchor tag, okay, and then link. Whatever the link will be there, anchor tag, that color should be blue, okay. Next come, I'm defining another CSS, that is the ID selector here. When ID selector will be there, I'm going to define in CSS main time. That means the division tag main is this one. So inside the main, what is there? Time is there. So that's what it means. It is the time, and this is the parent. That is the parent is main, and inside the time. So color will be red. Again, you can see that hashtag main. I'm giving greater than symbol, time, color is equal to purple. Now that means the next after the division, that means after the main tag, okay, that means after that whichever the time will be there, that means color going to be purple, okay. So that will be defined here purple. Next, again another you are going to dissident, you can see here. So like this way you can define in your HTML how you want the designing, that is totally it will vary from one developer to another developer. So we cannot say that this is the fix. How you want, just practice it, you see the result, then you will get to know the difference.